Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you are staying safe and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. So in today's video, we're going to talk about one of the biggest issues we're seeing out there right now from an economic standpoint and also from the people standpoint. So a lot is going on right now and people are really having a tough time during this period. So the biggest concern that we're seeing right now in the housing market has to deal with people not being able to pay their rent. So this is the beginning of the month and right now rent is due. Today is the 2nd of March and rent is due, or rent was due yesterday for most people, and also utilities are due. And the report we're seeing right now is that an estimated 10 million renters were behind on payment at the beginning of 2021. So 10 million renters are behind on their payment at the beginning of this year alone. And this totals to $57 billion in rent and utilities still owed. So this is crazy. This is a lot of, this is a huge number right here. $57 billion is still owed in rent and utilities. So right now, the big thing we're going to talk about in this update will be New York City. So New York City has been hit the hardest, right? We're going to highlight what exactly we're seeing out of New York City, billions of dollars in rent owed, and what impact is this having on the city as a whole and the landlords and also the residents of the city. So before we dive in, if this is your first time stopping by this channel, welcome. Consider subscribing now to join this amazing community to stay informed on the latest helpful economic updates for your financial wellness and financial success. And also give this video a thumbs up and share this video with other people to help people get this information quicker. Thank you. Let's jump right into it. So the biggest stuff we're seeing right now in New York City is that New York City renters owe more than $1 billion in unpaid rent. But hold on, it is way more than that. We're talking more than $2 billion. Right now, you're seeing $1 billion, but it's way more than that. So according to this report from Million Acres, the pandemic has hit a lot of people real hard. And while the jobless rate has fallen across the country since April, we did have a record high jobless rate last April, in April of 2020, and millions of Americans, millions were out of work, but people are still out of work, right? The initial unemployment claims are still way higher than the pre-pandemic levels, but the jobless rate in New York City far exceeds, according to this report, the national average. So as of December of 2020, the New York City unemployment rate sat at 9.5%, whereas the rest of the U.S. had unemployment rate at 6.7%, or the U.S. unemployment rate was at 6.7%. So you've got 2.8% over the U.S. unemployment rate in the city of New York. So this is this is insane. So according to this report, it is not surprising that New York City tenants are behind on their rent. We're talking a lot behind. And in fact, the city's landlords are owed more than $1 billion in missed rent payment, according to the Landlord Trade Group Community Housing Improvement Program. And this is just a lowball estimate, according to this report. So the $1 billion figure is just a lowball estimate. So if you include some of the rents, so the buildings that are subject to New York City's rent regulation laws, this will account for around 50% of the city's total rental units. So when you factor all of these other units, the ones that are subject to the rent regulations, you're going to see that this is over $2 billion in rent owed to the city. Now, as a renter, you don't have any means, you don't have a job, so you can't pay for this. Now, on the flip side, landlords and people, investors, landlords, they don't have a way to, especially as mom and pop landlords, they don't have a way to pay their bills or pay their mortgage or even keep the lights on in their own properties. So this is a huge issue right now. And according to what we've seen happen lately, there's been the mortgage forbearance and there's been the rental assistance program. But here's the thing with the mortgage forbearance. It only applies to homes that have federally backed loans. So if your landlord does not have a loan that's federally backed, chances are that that landlord will not benefit from the mortgage forbearance. So this is crazy. And from what we're seeing right now, both landlord and tenant advocacy groups have repeatedly lobbied for more assistance during the pandemic. So again, some landlords are able to, deal with this, to handle this without any issue. Some landlords, the bigger property management companies can deal with this and they can have a tax write-off for this case. But you've got other people other smaller landlords, small businesses, small landlords are the ones who end up getting roasted, getting dealt with cases like this. So this is what we're seeing right now. So New York City landlords, if you live in New York City and you own a home in New York City, you can seek mortgage forbearance only if your home is backed by a federal loan, right? So you can. Now, if you don't have a federal backed loan, you may have to check with your lender just to be sure that there's some type of program that you can take advantage of or that to help you out. So it is very interesting right now seeing these numbers. Numbers are huge, more than $2 billion unpaid rent. That's what we're seeing. The $1 billion is the low end. Now, the other interesting thing is that almost 10% of American households are at risk of losing their homes during this pandemic or losing housing during this pandemic. So this is crazy, and this is insane. Right now, the report that came out from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has estimated that at nearly 10%. Now, this report also added that the housing crisis is at levels not seen since the highest Great Recession in 2010. So it is at a level that we have not seen, according to Business Insider. The crisis right now is at a level that we have never seen since 2010. So this is alarming and this is very shocking. And this is not the same for all homeowners, depending on your race. So according to this report, the Black and Hispanic homeowners and renters have been disproportionately affected. So this is not the same across the board. So depending on which race or how you identify, this will have a greater impact on some people and lesser impact on some people. But right now, 10% of American households are at risk of losing their homes. So this is very, very concerning. And I just kind of wanted to quickly point out that 10% comes out to roughly 11 million families who are at risk of eviction or foreclosure due to financial pain during this pandemic. Yes, there's some type of rental assistance included in the Biden $1.9 trillion stimulus package. So around $25 billion, I believe, in rental assistance, and then to states and local governments also, for homeowners. I think there's around $5 to $10 billion or something in that neighborhood for homeowners who are unable to pay their mortgage. But this is all pending if this bill passes. So if this bill passes, then chances are that you're going to see this happen. But if nothing happens and there's a delay, we're likely going to see tens of millions of people who are going to lose their home if this bill delays. The eviction moratorium is set to expire in months, and we're going to see 30 to 40 million Americans who are going to be left hanging. I mean, these people are right now home insecure, and if nothing is done by the expiration of this eviction moratorium, we're likely going to see people just the cliff. There's going to be a cliff. People are not going to be able to make rents or even make their home payments. So that's kind of what we are seeing right now when it comes to the housing market. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Just wanted to quickly share what exactly we're seeing across the nation. So 10% of American households are at risk of losing their homes, and $57 billion in unpaid rent and utilities as of the beginning of 2021. 10 million renters are still behind on their rent. So I want to get your thoughts on that in the comment section below. And if you have not subscribed again, be sure to hit the subscribe button now. And before you leave, be sure to check out the other videos on the left if you are looking to boost your income, or maybe you've lost your job and you're looking for ways to make some extra income online. Check out the videos on the left. And if you're looking to boost your credit score or improve your credit limit, check out the videos on the right. See you in the next update. Stay safe and thank you for watching.